Ba-dum bum ba-dum dum. Hi everybody. I need to fix some of my sound here. I'm feeling overstimulated. I think it's in here. No. Wrong app. I keep opening the wrong app. I want this one. Nope, that's fine. I guess I need to change it in the actual game. Hi everyone. Happy Sunday. Oh, my snow is glitching. Okay. Outside. There we go. Hi everyone, happy Sunday. Welcome in. Hi Red. Hello, hello. Do you like my hat? Isn't it cute? I think this is the same hat I had last year. You're gonna steal my hat? Don't steal my hat. I love my hat. I can't remember where I got it. Probably on Etsy. But it's like rigged and everything, so it wiggles. It's pretty cool. I have another one that lights up too, but it doesn't sit on my head as good as this one does. This one's good. It's a good hat. If I can remember where I got it from, I'll send you the link. Hi, Wambat. Hello. Good morning / afternoon. I still got coffee that I'm drinking. We're going to keep doing our farms in town, the city, and get to unlocking the winter stuff. Some cozy town and city vibes. It'll be good. Be real good. Bad influence. I bought this game. Good. Buy it. Give the devs money. They deserve it. Hi, lady. How are you? I saw you were playing when I loaded my game up. Steam ratted you out, sucker. It's a good game. Alright, I'm gonna change our music to... I want like... I want some like Christmas lo-fi. I kept looking at it and was like, fuck it, I'm doing it. Yes! Do it! Do it! I ended up laying back down. It was supposed to be a quick nap, turned into 2.5 hours because my cat laid down on me and didn't have the heart to get up. Was it right? Yeah, cat and lap syndrome. That's what we call that. That's what us cat owners call that. Alright, here we are in our farmy town. Oh, I need to move my model over to the other side. I had to be over here because friends. Come on, Hubba. Get over here. You're in the way. My little buddy. There we go. That's better. Yeah, usually when I wake up in the morning, Wookiee's laying on my... Like, if I'm laying on my side, Wookiee's laying, like, on my hip. Because she decided that was a good place to lay down on top of me, I guess. Alright, what's going on here? We got some requests. Apparently you can't reach the grain silo. Granary can't transport to this building, which is right here. Oh, we're probably gonna need to build another one. Yeah, this one over here too. Where are we gonna put it? I feel like this way would be good. I'm gonna butt it up against this farm. And then we'll draw a little road here. I said little road, not gigantic. She's been super affectionate today. Aww. Well, I don't know about there, but here it is really cold. We've been in negative wind chills. So, if she's really cold, she's probably trying to snuggle up to get warm. They're not connected. There we go. Been having a weird thing lately with connecting buildings to the roadway. Like after I draw the roadway, I have to like move the building around to reconnect it the right way or something. It's being weird. Alright, that's all sorted. We got our little sheeps. Sheep. Alright, so we have flowers, bees, sheep, corn. Is this corn? Corn? Yes. Wheat. This is cotton. What is this? At farm. Potatoes. Potatoes. This is tomatoes. Yes. Okay. This is cotton and hops. And this is the vineyard, I believe. I wish it would say on this panel what they're growing here. Instead of me having to go in here. Grapes. Oh, and they still have a couple of flowers. That's fine. Okay, so what do we have that we haven't planted yet? Lettuce. Oh, let's unlock geese and lettuce. And then we'll do these two next, and then we'll save up to unlock the next tier. Yay! I'm trying to get, I want to get through all the farm things, and then we'll move back to the other town. And we'll do the quests and stuff soon. Alright, do I have anywhere for you people to live? No available houses. You know what? Are you all upgraded? It looks like you are. You want to live near clothes, though. Food and clothes. You guys, you all don't care where you live. Okay. Why is there a blank spot here? Shouldn't there be a house there? Do you have any blue houses? Where's a blue house? I don't have no blue houses over here. Everything's beige. Everything's beige. 54 degrees? Wait, that's warm. Oh, I forgot. You're in Texas, aren't you? Ow! That hurt. White House no fit. I think it's because of the trees. Let's just knock these down. Oh no, it says light post. I think. Oh, here's a blue house. Take this blue house. Hi, Muda. There we go. Move this over. And then we gotta draw our little pathway. No, no, no. Yeah. There we go. So glitchy. You don't have any lights over here. You have one there and one there. Okay, that's pretty good. This is our animal shelter, I think. Yeah. Let's adopt some animals just so we have them. Okay, so now... One person must live near clothes. What over here? Where do you want? You just want to be around lighting. Okay, I'm going to move you to here. And then I can move you to here. And then you can also live here. There you go. Rude, who did that? It was you! It was you, I saw it! You can't fool me. I know the truth. Alright, a lettuce farm. Right? Is that what I had to... that's what I need to plant? Yeah, lettuce. Look at that. Alright, so we're gonna build one more farm down this way, I think. Extend our road like this. And put our farm down here. Here. Maybe I'll set this house back away from the road some. I gotta do the terrain paint. I don't think it was. I think it was. You can't fool me. Who do you think you are? A house with food shops nearby. Alright, who wants to be a farmer? You're already a farmer. Who's here? Okay, you guys don't care. Oh, except for Marin. He wants to live near the bakery. You guys want to be farmers. I'm gonna move you into this farmhouse. And then I can move you here. You desires to live without any pets. Rude. Who wouldn't want pets? That's crazy. That's just craziness. Ooh, we got the farm market decorations. Probably like in here. Oh, maybe not. Maybe they're in here. Oh yeah, they're in the farm decorations. That makes sense. Alright, let's put a sign out front of this farm. Like that. And we need some lighting. Let's do that first. We're using all these like curved lampposts. We also need to decorate our granary. She's looking a little boring. Bo, thank you so much for 15 months in a row, and thank you for choosing me to use your Prime sub on. Thank you. You only get that once a month, and I am honored to be the choice this month. Thank you so much. We'll put a light. And one over here. One above the door. And put a light up here too. I feel like these would have lights on them. In a row, and she only streamed for 4 of them. Shut up. What are you trying to say, Muda? Muda's bullying me. Mods. Where's my mods? I'm being bullied. Help. Where are... yeah, these. This kind of can fade away into the woods. That'd be cute. Cute! Alright, our farm. We need to draw our farm stuff. Edit farm. And this is a lettuce farm. Am I wrong, though? No, but you don't have to say it. Yeah, yuts. I'm gonna just skirt the edge of this woods area. Way to make me feel bad because I don't stream enough. You're welcome. That wasn't a compliment. You silly kid. Man, I still plant a lot more lettuce. When do we get cows? I want cows. When do we get those? Oh, that's here. Medicinal herbs. Lavender. Pumpkins. And milk. Okay. I think I'm just going to do that for now, and I'll end up combining the lettuce farm with another farm. So let's go ahead and build our fence. Or do I want to decorate first? Let's do some decorating. Let's get a shed. I'll put that back here. And maybe a watering can. A wheelbarrow. That would be good back by the shed. And where's some plants? Let me set this here somewhere. We need a scarecrow. Scare away the crows. Maybe one of these things on the shed. Wonderful. Looking cute. Then we need a little pathway. Like that. And some lighting. Just hear about the presents underneath the Christmas tree. Alright, now that's some trees. And some flowers on the house. Cute. Wait, is this medium? Medium, yeah. Alright, we need our fence. Can I squeeze in between here? Yeah. More than you could ever know. My wish come true. Alright, for now, I'll just make the fence come out to there. Oh, I glitched a little. There we go. That'll work. And then... I'm just gonna move some of these trees over here. So it makes sense. There we go. Beautiful! How about some more trees on this side? There we go. Cute. Love it. Alright. Look at all these sheepies. Yeah, they're so cute. There's white and black and gray. Oh, we're still paused. Silly me. So cute. Alright, we need to build some more houses, it looks like. Put a couple over here across the street from this farm. I'm gonna go like this. No. We'll go this way. Do, 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 do. I love doing it this way because then I don't have to decorate the houses themselves, just the surrounding parts. Alright, you guys need some pathways. And some flowers. You guys want some flowers, don't you? Oh, and some lighting. Yes, lighting is very important. Oops. And then some flowers. And then some trees. There's this forest back here. Yeah, and some bushes. Cute. And then maybe over here we could have like a... Oh, maybe a well would be cute. We'll do a well and then we'll ground paint some sand under it. There we go. That looks good. Cute. I feel like there should probably be a fence along here. Maybe I continue this fence? You know, for safety reasons. Yesterday we got a bunch of our Christmas grocery shopping done. Good morning, afternoon, Giga. How are you today? I was just talking about how I was getting some of my Christmas shopping done yesterday. You know, you guys need a bench out here so you can look at the lake. How about a picnic table? Yeah, we did a bunch of grocery shopping yesterday so that I could, so I can start baking for the holidays. Because they do a lot of Christmas baking. Maybe some flowers on the backs of your houses. Yeah, that's cute. Alright. Well, you don't have any pets, so that's fine. You would like a pet. So let me put you here, and then I'll go to the animal shelter and show all pets. You don't care if you have a cat or a dog, so how about a dog? I give you a dog. There you go. Now he has dog. Hope you and your dog will be very happy. A dog. Okay, so we have our last farm. What's going on in the research menu? We can unlock the pub. So I'm going to do it. I wonder if we should go back to the other one and build these. The Hatter, the Dressmaker, and the pub. I don't know if we will generate more farm points if we do. I can't remember exactly how it works. For now, though, let's do some of these requests. There's a legend handed down from generation to generation that one day our family will be surrounded by fields of violet. Great acres of lavender stretching toward the far horizon. Tell us, Mayor, will this legend come to pass today? No, because we haven't unlocked it yet. Oh, this farm. We're gonna have to build a wheat farm somewhere else, I guess. For them. Or we can move the wheat to be a part of this lettuce farm. Maybe we'll do that. Since we just built it. Since we just built it and all. So I'll get rid of this fence here. Like that. And then we'll go here and we'll do edit farm. And what is it that you have? Is it wheat? Yeah, it's wheat. And we'll plant some wheat here. We need to extend our road. Da, 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 da. So there, and then where would the road go? It'd probably split. So we'll go this way, and then it'll probably also go this way. Not like that, though. There we go. Alright, so then we'll plant the wheat. We'll continue to plant the wheat. Like that. And then we'll extend our fence. What are you up to today, Giga? How was your stream yesterday? There we go. And then we need another... We need another scarecrow. Today's gonna be a lot of cleaning house and prepping for work tomorrow. I gotcha. Time for chores, eh? Oh no, I'm running over my blanket. My wheels on my chair just suck. You've gotten lazy? Oh no. Yeah, I could put another farm on this side too at some point. Alright, how are you doing on points? I have a long way to go. We still need like 1,000. Okay. Alright, so let's build more housing. I'm gonna... Do I want to erase this? Nah, I don't want to erase it. I'm just leave it the way it is. Alright, let's do some houses over here. But we will need, to make a little market area of some kind. Otherwise, they'll be sad that there's no shopping and whatnot. Make our square really big. Alright, and then we'll put in... We can put in a butcher. We don't have one of those on the other. Put in a butcher, and then over here we'll do some stuff next to it. Cheese and fruit. Cheese and fruit. And we could do an optician's office. Hello, welcome in. Alright, and we're gonna need a warehouse probably, because I'm pretty sure these are not gonna reach over there. Yeah, could try. I'm doing alright. How are you today, Nabby? Do you prefer Nabby or Curry? Goody. I need a warehouse. Should I do a big one? Maybe I'll just do a small warehouse, actually. Nabby is fine. My pleasure. You know what? On second thought, I think I'd rather have these offset. Oops, I didn't mean to move that. Actually, I do mean to move it. Move it really close to here. And then we'll move these stalls. These stalls can still be in the square. Just need to move them down away. There we go. Oops. There we go. And then let's do... What can we put in the middle? Do we have any, like, smaller fountains? No. Probably eventually. So for now, we'll do a well. Ooh, or we could do, like, a clock. Maybe do that. We'll do a clock with some flowers. Some flower bushes. Like that. And then maybe a couple lampposts. Put some over here too. It's another small thing I can put over here. It doesn't really fit. Some entertainment down here. If I move this down, maybe we can fit in a veggie stall too. Like so. Just got home from a food venture. Ooh, what did you have? We like food here. We do like a little seating area back in here. Ooh! Thank you so much for that follow. Mango Parfait, a new Japanese place. Okonomiyaki. Oh, I'm not sure what that is. Oh, the pancakes. Right. I know exactly what you're talking about now. Is that where they like pile a bunch of stuff on the pancake? Right? I have to fix that fence. It's weird. The staff are all Japanese, so fun to talk to them. Ah, nice, nice. That's cool. That sounds awesome. Lately I've been watching a ton of this YouTube channel Abroad in Japan. Do you know who that is? Hi Cass! How are you? Yeah, move this over here. And same thing with this one. Yeah, move it out some. You've heard of him? Yeah, I've been watching a lot of his stuff lately. I've never been to Japan. I've always wanted to go. I know a bit about the culture, but mostly because I'm an anime nerd. Just got home from a work thing. Gonna do dinner now? Ooh, what are you gonna have for dinner? Aren't we all? Duh. Some titles I like. Well, right now we've been watching, we just got caught up on Kaiju number 8. That show was really good. And we like Dandadan. And we also like Gachiakura. And I also like a lot of romance anime. I've seen so many of them, I don't even think I could list them all for you. Chicky tenders and fries. Let's go. I like chicky tenders. I do like shonen. I also like a lot of romance stuff. So, probably my all-time favorite anime is Bleach. I realize that sounds probably very normy. But it is in fact my favorite anime, probably. My first anime was Sailor Moon when it first aired in the United States years and years and years ago. Oh, you like MHA? Nice. Sailor Moon is one of my favorite anime. It was my first anime. Sailor Moon is what made me fall in love with anime. So it's like a favorite in a different way. It's okay to like something mainstream. I think so too. I also really like Demon Slayer. I don't care what people say. The Demon Slayer movie that just came out was fire. It was so good. It was really fun to watch in the theater. I enjoyed it a lot. Alright, let's put some tables back here. But I really like the romance anime that are short, like 12 to 25 episodes, because I like the gratification of the ending most of the time. I'm tediously placing chairs right now. Gurren Lagann is good. I haven't seen that in years. The anime that made me fall in love with anime was Death Note. Death Note is good too. I love BL anime. What do you mean? I've seen most of the BL anime that's on Crunchyroll, I think. Your favorite genres are shonen and sports. I didn't think I would like sports anime, but I got into, what is it called? Watabi Swim Club? Swim Free or something like that. I got super into that show. So have you. But different reasons, sure. And then I also watched, there was that one that came out I don't know if it was recent. It was on Netflix, I think, about the kid that plays badminton and the girl, she plays like volleyball or something. Was it volleyball? No, basketball. She was a basketball player. Is that the soccer one? And you call me Hoey. Hi, Joey. Haikyuu is the soccer one, right? Volleyball. Okay, I was close. I can picture the the image from Crunchyroll in my head, but I couldn't exactly pinpoint which sport. I couldn't remember which sport it was. We call you what you are, Hoey. Damn. Get wrecked, Joey. Everyone gets a flower. So cute. Can I put... I feel like I should have a little fence here. Like, people shouldn't go back behind this building, you know? Like, that should be off limits. But that's cute. Okay, now let's decorate the area a little more. So, we get some flowers. Maybe we could put some umbrellas. Wait, why can't I put two? Lame. Do more flowers, I guess. There's an ad starting in a few minutes, just so you guys know. Hoey, 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 Merry Christmas! Joey just hoes everywhere. Dang! Joey, are you gonna be okay? Do you need a hug? May as well call me Santa Claus! I mean, you're not? I'm very disappointed. Uh-oh. Excuse me. I know I just arrived here, but I couldn't resist. Yeah, Joey's a good boy. He's a good boy. Joey's a good boy. I kind of don't like these. You look like you need a tree, though. Need some plants out front. We still have room to put something here. This is a temporary centerpiece until I unlock a smaller fountain. I know that they're in there somewhere. I think I have to go back to the town and unlock some more stuff to get them. Alright, so we did all that so we could build some houses. I think I can plop a neighborhood like right in here. Let's see. I want to grab and plop. Well, that's another red house. Let's do a blue house. Hey, cheater reader, listen to some smut so she knows the context of good boy. Wait, what kind of smut? You don't watch any romance animes? That's okay. They're not for everyone. My boyfriend doesn't really either, but he likes Toradora. I can't get him to watch any other ones with me. Ads! We'll be right back. You can't hear me say that, but we'll be right back. Alright, we need to draw some pathways. Hello, Jedi. How many trigger warnings do you want for your smut? I'll provide accordingly. I don't really need any, I guess. Excellent. Alright, you guys can live here, and you can live here. I mean, I'll watch pretty much most stuff, I guess. I read the other way. Trigger warnings don't usually bother me. Oh, no. Like, I can't think of anything that Kaz would suggest to me that I might need a trigger warning for. Butcher and Blackbird? So wait, are we talking like actual hentai, or are we talking regular anime I find on Crunchyroll? What kind of smut are we talking about here? Hardcore smut? These are books? Oh, good luck with that. I'm not going to read. I'm so sorry. I led you astray. I don't read. The last thing I read was a doujin. That's smut. I didn't understand what's been talked about. Jeez, because the G word. Stop it. Don't be crazy. I'm sorry, I'm just not a reader. Ads are over, we're back. I'm sorry if anybody missed anything. We need some trees between our neighborhood and the commercial area. You didn't deny it. Oh, stop it. You know. You know me better than that. You silly, silly goose. You guys, you want some flower bushes, don't you? Alright, we need some lighting. I actually know someone who's a doujin artist. So I have read some of their stuff. And they've done some art for me, actually, which is really cool. They also stream on Twitch. Kize art. Jean has done some art for me. No, I'm not talking about Jean. Jean's not a doujin artist. Unless there's another thing about Jean I don't know about. Let's tuck a little forest in here, I guess. He has in the past? Oh, I didn't know that. That's cool. Don't tell him I told you. Okay. It's our secret. Alright, we spent all our time doing that we can now unlock the next tier. Woohoo! New researchable items available. Farm points cap increased to 1600. Awesome. Good, because flower automation. Global farming allows you to access farms in the farm research menu in all cities. Ooh. Allows you to use the Belleville house styles in Fontainebleau and vice versa. Cool. We need this lavender one first so we can fulfill this task down here. Also, I want some moo cows. Moo cows. Rude, Kaz. It's not nice to call people fat. That's just mean. I'm gonna tell on you. I have my video evidence too, so you can't deny it. There, now only potatoes. Look at Giga out there in the potato field. Cows are not fat. Normally when you call someone a cow, you're insinuating that they're fat. This farm still has a lot of space left in it. More than you would ever know. Make my wish come true. You're right, they're not fat, they're meaty. They're meaty and they taste good. Moo cow. Is this the alternative to raging bitch? Jesus Christ. You can go here. You want a pet? I can do that. Let's see, what do I have in my animal inventory? I have a cat. Would you like a cat? There you go. One cat. Should probably adopt some more animals. A goose? Let's adopt a goose. Just buy them out. It's like how I say, that's nice when I mean to fuck right off. But food is in. Okay, enjoy your food. Desires near a cliff. If I can squeeze a house in here, will that count? Well, this one's +9. That'll work. Wish I had something small I could stick right there. Oh well. Oh well. I'm gonna make this a park right here. That'd be cute. Let's see. Get some duckies. And some schwanies. And down some lily pads. And let's see. We'll put a little statue over here. Got this and the hopscotch. And put this gazebo. I'm gonna slide out of the woods there. Get some terrain paint. So it looks like it has a floor. I guess I could paint like a couple of pathways too. Squawk, squawk, squawk. Alright, and then we need some lighting so the park is safe. Oh, I thought I could put some lights on the post of the gazebo. I can't. There's somebody's cat. Just hanging out. Going for a little walkie. Alright, I need some benches. Some benches and maybe some trees. Yeah, that's cute. So cute. Love it. Everything looks pretty lit up. Alright, how are we doing on our farm points? There we go. We need this one first. And I guess we'll do herbs. Alright, so we gotta plant the lavender here. Edit farm. Lavender. And then across the street here. That was pretty good. Is that enough? Place a water pump. Oh, okay. Why these lights are sideways? They look silly. Place a water pump right back here. Pretty. Rejoice, child. The lavender is upon us. I've never smelled such a rich fragrance. You have fallen under its spell. This, too, was foretold as the touch of lavender. Ooh! Wait, it's right here. It didn't unlock it. I'm gonna have to restart my game. Go wash the day's grime off me butt. Ew, booty. Yeah, dirty booty. A house with multiple floors. That's easy. They all do. Okay. I gotta save and restart my game, apparently. Because they didn't give me my arch. Damn it. I had this happen before with the book thing. So let me restart my save. Maybe I can just restart my save and I have to restart the game. Load game. There it is. I don't know why it does that sometimes. So cute. Look at how pretty that is. That is so pretty. I love it. I feel like we need some more lighting over here. What the heck? There's like no lights. Oops. Wrong button. There we go. Alright. We did that. You want to live by restaurants? Well, you're just in luck. That big pop of color in the middle is really pretty. I love that. Alright, we're gonna do our next request, but I really gotta pee, so I'm gonna BRB. 2 seconds. Alright, I'm back. I also had to switch my laundry. We back! Join! Wait, did it not work? Wait, do I have it on? I have to turn it back on again. Let's see. Nope, it's connected. Let's try reauthorizing. Last time I played, it was double sending. Okay. I think though, as long as you're in chat, it automatically puts you in. 2. Oh, we're starting to run out of houses again. I'm gonna save this family for the farm I'm gonna build. I think you guys are already here. There's Joey. There's Jedi. There's Nabi. Giga and Red. Bo and Kaz. There's Lady and Wambat. People from last stream and Muda. I don't think join is one of the words. Oh, it is. It's still double sending. I'm not sure why. All right. So we have another request. Guess let's go ahead and do it. Our lavender is so beautiful. Certainly, my child, but woe is us. A twist in the legend? No, our lavender fields are getting raided by birds. Mayor, could you help chase them away? Oh, you already have a scarecrow. There's already fences. There's a lot of fences. More light sources. 10 scarecrows! And a doghouse. Okay, well we can do that. We're gonna have to get rid of this. Go into farm decorations. And we'll get the doghouse. Put him out here. I guess we'll get more scarecrows. It says 0 of 10, so it's not even counting that one. Oh my gosh. I think I'll just place them and then we'll delete them after we complete the task. Because that's crazy to put 10 scarecrows within this little circle. Alright. Light sources. This person walking through the lavender field. They're just having a grand old time. Okay, and then we need 2 more fence pieces. Why can't I draw a fence there? That's weird. Is it too close to the building? Okay. Scarecrows, fences, and a doghouse.
Oh,
A brilliant combination of bird dispelling techniques. A few birdhouses could have done the trick too. Child, don't be so disrespectful. It's true though, birdhouses. Give them a try next time. We got a birdhouse! Did I actually get a birdhouse? Yes, I did. Alright. I'm gonna leave a couple of the lights out there because they're cute. I don't want all that crap though. Oh, I also don't need 20 scarecrows. Alright, and then birdhouse. We'll put a birdhouse. Cute. Look at everybody walking around our town. Cat. Or dog, but kind of looks like a cat. Alright, we need to build another farm. Should put one out this way, maybe. Or maybe right here, up this hill. Do, do, do. Do, 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 do. Alright, let's do... Alright, and then you can come live here. Then we're gonna go in here and we can unlock some more farm things. Like milk and pumpkins. You don't know what this is or what this does. A patisserie! Ooh! Okay. Click the farm, edit farm. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for the cows. I'm gonna put the cows over here on this side. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, let's go here. Make this bigger. First let's erase here. Happy gay with a cat, let's go. I love that for you. Alright. So on this side we'll have the cows. Oh my gosh, look at them. Aww. They're so cute. Okay, and then we'll also do, what was the other one? Pumpkins. Oh my gosh, the pumpkins are so cute. Okay. I'm gonna go like all up this hill and stuff. Yes, I know. Not enough transporters. We'll get there. Oops. I can't add any over here, huh? They might have to have their own granary. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to move you to be over here. And then we will put another granary here. I kind of want to edit this because it looks stupid. Alright, good. Good. Oh my gosh, look at our milk house. Maybe I should move the cows over here. Then I'll put up a fence. Run it along here. Alright, and then we need some farm decorations. Let's do the wheelbarrow pumpkins. And we need a scarecrow. And what else? Maybe some hay for the moo cows. That's cute. A bucket? Looks like a bucket of milk. You guys are so cute. Ooh. You guys need some trees. For shade and whatnot. Cute. What if I should put a fence between the cows and the pumpkins? Probably should. I'll go like this. Leave a little entrance for the farmer to get in. Cute. That's cute. Alright, what else can we unlock? Oh, we need a medicinal herb. Well, let's do the house exchange. We need a medicinal herb farm too. We'll do that one on this side. We need more stuff over here. Where's the edge of the map over here? Let's put it up here. Also, I hope the medicinal herb farm is just a weed farm. That would be epic. I might give this farm like a circle drive. You guys can come live here. And you can have a farm sign out front. And maybe some small trees. Yeah, that's cute. And we gotta paint this. Beautiful! Alright, and then we're gonna click here. We'll take care of that stuff in a minute. I don't know. Kind of seems like it could be a weed farm. Just saying. That's probably big enough. I don't know what all this gets used for, so we'll just do that and then we'll put up our fence. We need to add our workers too. There we go. Now I'll put up our fence. around the forest. Alright, then we have lots of room for decorations. Put up a shed. We'll draw a little road. And let's see, maybe a water pump out here. And we need a scarecrow. I'll give him 2 scarecrows. And maybe a wheelbarrow. Maybe some barrels. I don't know. Random box of flowers out here. Yeah, something like that. That's cute. Alright. They need entertainment and food, though. Put a little area right here, maybe. Just like a couple of farm stands or whatever. Can you poultry? Let's turn around this way though. Cheese. And do we have one of these? Where is it? Do we have one of these here yet? I don't think we do. Oh, way over there. Okay, yeah. Put this at the end. Oh, it's too close. Here in the middle? Does it fit? No, I have a better idea. Let's just place it here for now and let them build it, and then we'll move these over. We'll put it at the end right here. Right here! Alright. Gotta keep our farmers happy. Cool, it reaches. Awesome. All right. We good now? I think we're good now. Excellent. All right, we need... Oh, there's trees in the road. Can't be blocking the road. I think you were meant to go... here. Yeah. All right, let's do some lights. And a couple of benches. Cute. Love that. Cute. Maybe like a bush or something. This is looking very cutie. What's this? Desires a dog. See, do I have a dog? My pet backups. Now I have a goose and 2 cats. Alright. Well, let's adopt some dogs. And then, do I have any houses left? I don't. Okay. So maybe... could squeeze the road in here. Can you put some houses up here? Like so. Some cliff housing. Alright. Yes, I know we have requests. I'm getting there. Alright. Go down to 1. Get our square brush. And then I might have to wiggle some of them. I don't know how that's possible. There's food stuff here. This row comes down here, and there's a bunch of stuff right here. Just too many, I guess. We'll put you there. And then we'll go here, show all pets. Kevin. You guys will adopt Kevin. Well, I guess I need another area of stuff. Yeah, this should reach all the way down here. That's why I don't understand what's happening. See? I just had to come wiggle them. Yeah, you guys should be all good. You're very close to all those things. Alright, cool. We good. A single floor house? Oh, man. You guys can be the weirdos at the end of the block with only one floor. W? Townsfolk male adult and is a street vendor. W. Oh. Some lights. Some lights. Back to your dream job. Being a street vendor. I think I just placed a light, yeah, in a weird spot. Alright, trees. Oh, there's ads. So sorry. Some bushes. Yeah, cute. This person wants to live near clothes. I'm gonna move you to here. And you can live here. And you're the single floor family. There you go. Yeah, excellent. All right. Now we can do more requests.
Wow!
Hooray, we're getting a pet. Pet cat. Certainly, but right now our place isn't ideal for a cat. We have to give them the bestest home possible. So we'll need more space and maybe a fish pond. Cute! Move the house to a location without other houses or shops nearby. Oh, alright. Let's see, you can go over here. Is this far enough away? Put you up on this cliff. Let's give you a light. Alright, and then we have to place a fish pond. Ooh. How big is this? Wow, this is a lot bigger than I thought it would be. Let's move some of these trees. Is there more than one shape? Oh, there is. Well, dang, if I had known that, I would have put it there. Because we can erase this. Does that fit? Aw. That's cute. Place trees around the house for the cat. Oh, no problem. Kind of tucked away in the woods. Place bushes. I feel like we need a fence too for safety reasons. For safety. Oh, my bush is in the way. And I need some flowers too, I think. Cute. We did it. Let's go play with the fishes. Meow. What fun. Rudolph. Meow. I guess he's a low energy cat. Ooh, money that I don't really need. Meow. What? Hi, Wookie. Meow. Did you hear me talking to the kitty in the game? Meow. Now we gotta put another house over here. Never fits in there after I move it. Got lots of houses right now. Alright, let's look at our farm research. I'm gonna do that in a second. We're really close to getting these things. I'm gonna wait on that because it's the least amount of points. When we unlock the fair stuff, I want to build a carnival right here. Wouldn't that be sick? On the peninsula? That would be so cute. And these people want to live near clothes. Oh, you guys don't care where you live. There we go. Perfect. Alright, well. Do we generate farm points if we're not here? We could decorate in front of the train station right now. Surrounded by farm decorations. You guys are my preference. Maybe I will move you. And you guys will become farmers. Alright. I think we will go back. We can build the new buildings that we got from the farming. So like we got we don't have the patisserie yet, but we have like the dressmaker and stuff. The pub. We put those down here. Ooh, I feel like I haven't looked at this in forever. I still gotta decorate in front of this train station too. Alright. So we have now, if we go here and here. So we have the pub, the hatter, and the dressmaker. Oh, this is actually kind of small. Will you fit in here? Oh, it does. Now I might be able to scooch it over somewhere. Nope, that's as far over as it'll go. That's alright. We need this and the stone. Oh man, we're putting the hatter to work. And I think we can... Oh, what was it that we could do in there? I can't see it from here. I want to be able to see it from here. We also have enough to upgrade here. Do we have everything from here? Carpenter, clockmaker, smithy. Do we have a smithy? Yes, right here. Clockmaker. Carpenter. Okay. I think we do. Look at the little hat shop is so cute. It's so adorable. Oops. So cute. Our little plaza with the big fat fountain. Alright, and then we have a gap over here where we could put something too. The dressmaker. Ooh, she'll fit right here. Yes. That's good, because this one's also facing towards the plaza, so that's perfect. Why can't I grab this fence? There we go. Oh, I'll take artisans. Oh wait, I can set the color. Building not receiving enough crops? Oh no! I think that gives us the smaller fountains. And I can't see what the dressmaker requires. So you have to go here, continue. It was like cotton and flowers or something? We might have to have a dedicated cotton farm. Wool and cotton. Oh, there's probably not enough sheep. There's probably not nearly enough sheep. What else are you growing here? Oh yeah, Joey, you're a little baby farmer. Corn and wool. You have a lot more capacity. Or maybe you just need a dedicated... Maybe you just need a dedicated sheep farm. Like over here. Oh, you're just one guy? Here's a family. Need more than one guy to do a farm. Let me decorate the... All the stone things! Okay. I just want to decorate the farm. Ooh, we're getting a lot of decorations now. Okay. You know what? Let's decorate you with sunflowers. Why not? Be different. Ooh, it's like a garland. You know I could do that. How did I do that? Feels like it's really picky with how it does it. Oh. That's so cute. Hmm. Alright. And then wool. And maybe you could grow something else. Maybe more cotton, because I'm a little concerned we won't have enough of that either. Fence! Oh, maybe you guys the new fancy stone wall fence. Cute. Oh, it still doesn't reach. Damn. That one probably won't reach if I connect it up either. Damn. Well, that's just annoying. Tris. Oops. Let's turn these around. Then we'll go see if our dressmaker is working now. All right. All good? Alright, let's go back and see if our dressmaker will work now. Do 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 do. Okay, I think we're good now. All right. So, what do we not have here yet? The launderer, I think? Oh, and the pub. Where are we gonna put the pub? Remember, this is like huge. Yeah. Oh, we should put it over here by the train station. By City Hall. Right next to City Hall, a pub. No. Dang, I should have waited and put it in here. Ow! Nice. Just gonna end up looking at a big cliff. This is kind of where we ended up putting the pub last time, too, is over on this hillside. But I want to have a good view of this pond if I'm gonna put it over here. Like, it should definitely be like this or something. So you see this pond. I didn't actually mean to click that, but it's going there now. Oh my gosh, it's taking forever to build. There we go. No. Oh my gosh. I really need an undo button for when I do stupid crap like that. Okay, now. Yeah, there's like a little, like, worn out dirt walking path here or something. What a wonderful world. Holy moly. Warehouse. Excellent. Alright, need some lighting. Flowers on the pub. So cute. Some lights. Alright. I think that's everything. Let's see. I think we can upgrade. We don't have a bouncy castle. I don't think that it exists in this game. Sorry, Muda. We can, however, upgrade our city. New train station! What? rifle. You know what? Don't do that. This is a very good game. City upgraded to stage 5. There's now public services and the research menu is expanded. So now we have... Ooh, we can upgrade our bank. New research equipment. There's a potterer. We got the carnival. So there's the winter decorations. We finally got them. That took forever. Oh, we can upgrade to a 3rd floor. There's a school and a church. Oh my gosh, there's so much going on, you guys. But we need this first. This is what we came here for. This is what it's all about today. I want to build a little Christmas area. I feel like it should be up on a cliff. Up high somewhere. Do a flip? Right now? Okay. Hold on, I gotta wait my eyes. They're getting watery. Ugh, okay. Do a flip right now? I don't know. I don't know if I can do it right now. I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can do it. Actually, can I? What the heck? Oh yeah, I can. There it is. Ready? There you go. One flippy do. One flippity doo da day. Let's fucking go! So I'm gonna put it up here. We need to get our path up here though. Actually, before I do that, let's build. I want to build one of those avenues up here. I think it was 6.5. Oh, it looks terrible. That is so ugly. I hate it. It's just getting worse. Alright, let's try with this tool. 1. Oh, he's got a 1. That is not 1. Maybe it is. Maybe it has to be 2, so it looks right. Yeah. There we go. That's much nicer. Oh no! My mouse ran out of room. And I made it ugly. That's close enough. Alright, now take the eraser. Put that on 1, I think. And circle. Yeah, okay. Like that. So I think... Yeah, this is actually 2.5. Alright, that's good. And I think I'm going to do that here on the bend too, just because it looks better. There we go. Okay, and then this side, we'll have to do the same thing, I guess. And we have to connect it up down here with this road. Oh, actually, they might not be able to get up that way. I have to move that bush. That's ugly. Why did I do that? Because it's really hard to draw cute roads with your mouse. That's why. Alright, good enough. Now that we're up here. Ooh. Wait, these are cute. Oh my gosh, so cute. Love that. Okay, first I need to decide where am I going to put all my things. Because I need, if I'm going to put artisan homes up here, they have to be satisfied. And put like a winter plaza. Alright, maybe I should think this out a little more first. Okay. First things first. Ooh, there's a little Christmas tree. And there's a big Christmas tree. Oh, look at it. So cute. Okay. I'm so excited. Okay. Okay, we're gonna need I really want this. So we'll buy the money upgrade right now so we can have more money. Alright. I want to do all these fancier things, I think. Actually, first, I think I need one of these. I don't even think I have a laundry yet. I don't. We actually need one, so we'll put that up here. It actually fits in here, like, perfectly. So we'll put the laundry... No, first things first. A fence. Before I put in buildings, and then I can't build a fence anymore. Because sometimes it's too close, and then I can't build it. And there's a rock in the way. Can I move the rock? Damn. Sorry, rock. I wanted to keep you. It just wasn't in the cards, my friend. Is that a boulder? It's a rock! All along this cliff. Alright, so we're gonna put the launder at the end down here. And then okay, I might have to rethink this a little. I'm being very intentional with what I'm doing right now, just so you guys know. Okay. So I want to build another big road coming off of here. Oh yeah, more like this shape. Oops. Okay, this is gonna have to move completely, I think. I was gonna try to reuse it, but I can't. So this is like the center here. Just gotta come off this way. Shit! I forgot to reset it. No! Straight line. There we go. Alright, 2.5 round. Oops, not eraser. Okay. There we go. That's what I wanted to do. Alright, let me switch to eraser. Let me switch to 1. Erase, erase, erase. Alright, and then maybe right here we do... Yeah. Yeah! Yeah, something like that. And then we'll do our 1 eraser. Circle. Oh shoot, that was supposed to be a straight line. Well... Alright. So like... Ooh. It's a brazier. Provides up to 10 decoration points to nearby buildings. I don't know what that is. Got a sleigh and a snowman. Oh, here's the tree. Okay. There's that, and I think we have a snow ground paint now. Yeah. That's gonna be like this whole cliff. Alright, we use this center on the edge. Probably expand it up there too, but for now. Big snow village. All right. This looks ugly and I hate it. Let's delete this weird looking thing I got going on here. There we go. Okay, I think now if I... It seems to be having a weird connection thing, I think. No? Okay, I guess not. Alright, Alright, I need more things. So we have a launderer, so that's fine. Let's do... Another dressmaker? Let's do shoes. Actually, yeah, let's go this way. Let's do an optician. Across the street. Alright, and then over here, let's do a bistro. And we don't have a winery here. We have one in the other town. I think I'm gonna do the butcher first, though. Whoops. Maybe we'll do another pub up here. I'm just gonna delete these trees because we gotta put snowy trees anyway. Maybe I actually just want to put it over here. Oh, actually, it might fit good here. So we'll do that, and then put this theater here. Wait, this is supposed to be a Christmas tree. Why doesn't it look like a Christmas tree right now? It's because it's not nighttime? Weird. Snowman. Okay. Alright, these ones need to be bigger. Oh, we're gonna need a warehouse up here too. Probably just a little one? No, I'll just put a big one anyway, just in case. Just in cases. Oops. Not really sure how I'm feeling about this right now. I like the idea of this roundabout looking thing here. I don't know if I like the layout. I don't want to get too far and then hate it. I might do some brainstorming off stream for this. Okay, chat. I'm really hungry. And it's almost time for football, I think. I'm gonna play around with the layout of our Christmas town a little bit. Alright, let's go find someone who's live that we can raid. Oh, I have all caps on. Oops. Yeah, oopsie. Oopsie, oopsie. Let's see. let's raid. Do you guys want to go see Scary Game? Bex is playing Silent Hill. I think it's the newest one. I got a gingerbread emote? What the heck? I want to see him. What's he called again? Get that bread. Oh my god. That was a crazy emote. I know, eating a gingerbread man. Alright. Oops, I clicked the wrong thing. Damn it. Damn it. Alright, we're gonna raid. We're gonna raid Bex. Just playing Silent Hill. If you guys like spoopy games. So we'll go say hi to Bex. If you're a subby, you will use the first raid call. If you're not a subby, you'll use the Nemo Pops. Hi and bye. Hi and bye. Hi, Trey. Thanks, Wambat. You guys all have a great day. I should be live on Tuesday. I was thinking about maybe going live tomorrow too, but I need to start baking. So I think I'm going to be making cookies all day tomorrow. But thank you guys so much for hanging out. Thanks for the love and support. I appreciate you all. You're the very best. Now, get the fuck out. Goodbye. See you later. Bye. Goodbye. I love you. Goodbye.